Hello, people of the local experimentalist group. This is the age case and the local.
Hello,
The age
hello,
and the
I'm
local.
live.
The waffle houses.
Yeah, the wafflers are back for another discussion. And this week we're talking about Freemasonry.
Yeah, man.
But
Share
before
that
we
picture.
talk,
All the topics we're going to talk about today.
yeah,
Yeah, I suppose.
before we say what we're gonna talk about, let's say hello to the people in the chat. Hello to all the people on YouTube land. What's going on, guys? How you guys been this week? Hope you've been drinking a lot of water. 40 degrees, 41 degrees this week in London. How was it up in Brighton?
35, I suppose, in some on Monday. No, Tuesday. Yeah, it's really hot.
Hottest day of the year.
Probably, I think London was the hottest, though.
Yeah.
You definitely got it the worst.
I already complain about the heat at work in the bakery. It's just one normal day for me. But it was hot. I did get a little tan. Yeah, who we got in the chat? Hello, Mrs. J. Hello, Indy. Hello, Anonaku. Hello, mate. Hello, Gregory. Hello, Edge Case.
Hello.
We've got Tolkien in the house. The Gaming Nutter. Hello, guys. Hello, girls. Good evening. Thanks for joining. Mickey Mouse, legend in the chat.
Mickey Mouse in the house, pulling down.
We've got Argument. We've got Doug. Hello, everyone. So let's get down to business. Freemasonry.
So earlier you was talking about it was like invented in 1707, but I think that was when it was what's the word, officialized, or they standardized it, and they made it into, like, you know, the building that we went to a couple of weeks ago. That's like the main building that they made it an official place. And
yeah, the Grand Lodge.
Yeah. So after that, everyone had to like follow by a certain rules and regulations, but before then there was loads of lodges going on and people had their own little ways of doing it.
That's we're talking about England here in the UK. 1707 or something like that. 17 something like that.
Yeah. But it goes all the way back to the Egyptians, doesn't it?
The Egyptians, yeah. How did it work during the Egyptian times?
No, I think it's, or I'd have to get Token on or someone to explain this bit, but I think it's like the Freemasonry it's taken a lot of the learnings and teachings of the Egyptians, and I think they kept a lot of it secret, I suppose. Like measurements and stuff. They kept the real measurements of things. Like they didn't teach the peasants the real measurements for some reason, so that they couldn't recreate their own buildings. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but Solomon's Temple, yeah, it all goes back to there.
put the title on. Topic for this evening: Freemason. So it goes back to Egyptian times, but it started making a major what can I say? They started pushing with their agenda during the 1700s.
Yeah. It's like last week I was saying that the Vatican and the City of London, they're like competing against each other, got their own little thing going on. And I think that's kind of like Freemasonry is part of the Vatican, and a lot of the Freemason orders are in the Vatican and controlling that sort of area. And
so you're saying
that because there wasn't really any big Freemason buildings inside the City of London. They're all out in the boroughs of London, which made me think that. I don't know. And like the Sovereign Military Order of Malta, that's just next to the Vatican. That's one of the orders of Freemasonry. We'll go through that later.
Yeah, when you talk about the Vatican, touching on like religion and all of that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's in the list. Yeah. So
check out this picture quick. I'll put it up. We weren't allowed to go in last week because they were building in there.
Oh, they were building.
This is what we missed. This is what we could have seen.
I think maybe they were using
the
it
Grand Lodge
for what I said.
Of England. Yeah. It's pretty big, isn't it?
Oh, wow. Wow.
So yeah, that's what we weren't really allowed in because they were building and doing shit in there, but that's the Grand Lodge of England.
Well, so we could have had a chance to go in there, but it was closed.
Yeah.
Wow. So wow. Look at the checkered floor. Look.
Yeah.
Apparently, only men are allowed in there, no women.
Yeah, I think they changed it in like 2000s. In the 2000s, I'm not 100% on that, but.
Well, yeah, I was reading, refreshing my mind a little bit, learning a little bit, and yeah, Why do you think there is all of these groups?
Because I think they have to control like the rich men in each town and city. Like you don't want all these rich men or women. It's mainly men back then, but you don't want rich people going rogue and setting up their own revolutions and that. So they have this to control the richer sort of men. I think anyway. And like local business is controlled because they're all Freemasons, and all the courts and all the police and the fire service and all that. A lot of them are Freemasons.
So this picture shows 1,000 seats or whatever, and they're all sitting down. Do they wear some sort of uniform or something like that?
Yeah.
They got their own dress code.
Let's get one up.
And then they sit around, and then it looks like a scene from Parliament or something.
Yeah. I don't know.
What do you think it's about?
A lot of things, religion, politics. I don't know, actually. I reckon you should get Token up because he'd know what.
Oh yeah, guys, the link is
teachings. They have teachings, don't they? And
yeah, the link is pinned. If anybody wants to join, and have their say and what their knowledge about Freemasonry. Yeah.
And Cage as well, he knows a lot. Here's the uniforms that they wear. Or the standard uniform, I suppose. They've all got their own different colours. Like, they'll be from one place and they'll be from another. I don't know.
So look at
Age
that.
with the voice.
Uniform. Wow. Can we zoom in? Can you zoom into the picture? See what sort of symbols they have on them.
It looks like a Yahoo Mail.
Wow. They even got medals. That's another topic that we're gonna discuss later.
Yeah, we'll go through the medals and I don't know, the orders.
Yeah.
That's what I do know a little bit about, is the different orders.
So I heard, I read that there's different kinds of groups of masonry.
Yeah.
There's one for different sectors of society. One for the education system, one for the political system, one for the social system, you know, and so on and so on.
Should we get the degrees up quick? Where is it? I'll get this up.
We should have went to the pubs. Did we pass any pubs, Mason pubs in London?
No. I know there's one in Brighton called the Freemasons.
Yeah, there's one near Downing Street. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah. Yeah, there'll be a few Mason pubs where they all go, or lodges that they meet.
So
So these are like
secret
the
societies.
degrees.
Secret
Yeah, the York Rite, that's like I'd say the York Rite is you're born into it. It's hereditary sort of thing. It's passed down through like royalty and lords and ladies and all that. Whereas the Scottish Rite, it's anyone can join that. We could join that, and you work your way up like the ladder, I suppose. And the order of the Knights of Malta, that's what the Queen is part of. So she's that high up. And then someone like the Prime Minister of New Zealand, she's in the Order of the Eastern Star. And someone like Theresa May.
What's her name?
Rainbow.
The one with the big teeth.
Oh, the one from New Zealand. Jacinda Ardern or whatever it is. Yeah.
Looks like a loser.
Yeah, she's part of that Order of the Eastern Star. And then I'd say most like top politicians who are Masons, they get to the third. Maybe. That's the minimum requirement. Yeah.
What do you have to do to get in? Do you know?
Entered apprentice. So you have to become an apprentice. I suppose you have to learn for years and years about certain teachings. we'll get a few pictures up in a bit. And I know Token knows about like the 3 pillars and the checkerboard. But I suppose you have to learn it all. You learn the apprenticeship, and then you get into the fellowcraft, and then you become a master mason, and yeah, and then it goes up. The Prince of Jerusalem. I wonder who that is.
What about donations? Does donations play a role in what level you're in, what level you are?
Maybe, yeah. Suppose. The more you donate, the more friends you make. It's the same with anything. It's not what you know or who you, or it's not what you know, it's who you know, isn't it? Connections.
Shelly in the chat says, "Hi local, hi chat. I've been researching a bit about Freemason. I thought it was just men only. Or am I wrong?"
I think the main parts of it are just men only, but like this bit here, these are all the women's part. Like the rainbow girls, that's people like Theresa May, she's a rainbow girl. Order of the Eastern Star, that's Jacinda Ardern. Daughter of the Nile. I wouldn't know who's in that.
Hello, Token.
Order of the Malloy. Token.
Hey man, what's up, guys?
How you
Good
doing, man?
evening.
What you guys waffling about?
Waffling on.
Yeah, so tonight we're waffling on about Freemasonry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Give us some insight into what you know about Freemasonry.
Well, it's I think they're originally, I don't know what it is now, but originally it should be following the sacred teachings of King Solomon. And if you know what King Solomon is, if you ever looked it up or read deep into like the lesser key of Solomon or the higher key of Solomon, the lesser key is about him trapping the fallen angels that fought in heaven, and he entrapped them, what's so-called, into a brass vessel with the higher angels above. So as above, so below, right? And he trapped them into the brass vessel to do his bidding. You know, and they built the temple for him.
Hold on, who? So below? Another a pharaoh.
As above, so below. So below as above came from Hermes Trismegistus, from the Emerald Tablet found in Greece.
Right.
So yeah, so it's like based on the ancient teachings of King Solomon, and basically it's not really like like these demons that he's trapped into the vessel. It's really like the archetypes of your mind. So it's psychology, right? It's trying to find your higher self. You know, when you can control these demons in your mind, and you can control that, you can find your higher self. It's like the Egyptians would say they would balance when you die, like on the Book of the Dead. At death, you would like your heart would be weighed with a feather, right? And if your heart was heavier than a feather, you would go and see that crocodile. I can't mind his name, but he would devour you, which is like rebirth. But if it weighed lighter, you would go and see Osiris, which is Jesus, and you know what I mean, but this higher being. But yeah, I think most of this is about that. But if you want to, we'll stick on Freemasonry. So where did you get to? The Entered Apprentice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So when the Entered Apprentice is on that first journey, he is shown what every Freemason's shown. It was called the Entered Apprentice Tracing Board, Masonic Tracing Board.
The
Have
black
you
and
got
white.
that? Have you got
The
that?
black and white board, yeah. Hold on, I'll get that picture you sent me earlier.
Yeah, put
That
that
was
up.
a good one. Let's get that one up. Right, where is StreamYard. There we are. Share screen. This thing.
Yeah, that thing. So, firstly, we all know that. Well, you probably don't know, but well, you do. Like most religious places are always like in the east, right?
Or
Like
facing the east.
facing the east. Yeah, it's
Like the Freemason temple in my town is facing the east. Definitely.
Or it should be east-west, right? It should be east-west. Why? Because the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west, right? Not just because of that, there's more meaning to that, is because in the east, most ancient wisdom is learned and then given to the west. But yeah, so most Masonic temples are set in them east-west. And so yeah, you got the board, you can see east. The other snippet doesn't show you the west, but you can see like the poles around it. And then so yeah, like the checkerboard that you guys were looking at there that's like the physical world. It's like the lowest you can go, the most physical part. Do you know what I mean? It's the lowest form of life, right? It's what they call in Kabbalah is Malkuth on the tree of life. It's the lowest point, and the highest point is the higher self.
Like what?
Like basically what you see in the middle. What you see in the middle, the sun up in the middle of that middle pillar.
Yeah.
So you see that's the lowest self on the checkerboard, and you can see like obviously the two pillars. The left pillar is masculine, so it's male. It's wisdom, and that's why you see the sun above it.
And look how pillar, like plain and bold it is. Look.
Exactly, yeah. On the top of the
right
towers.
one, it's got details and it's pretty and
it's feminine, yeah. And above it's the moon, right? Lunar, and so you got the sun and the moon. So you're representing the masculine and feminine, the wisdom and the intuition. And then you've got like on the base of the checkerboard, you've got two stone blocks. The one on the left is an unfinished block, right? And the one on the right
is a perfect one.
It's a perfect block that's been completed from the checkerboard, right? And that's why it's closer to the ladder, because you can see the ladder's going up, right? And it's going up to where? The sun. So it's enlightenment, to learn. So there's 3 points in the ladder, which are initially called the 3 initiates. And there's 3 books. Yeah, there's many books about the 3 initiates written. It's called the Kybalion, the 3 initiates. Another book comes after that called the Pyamanda, which is written by the 3 initiates, which talks about all of this into depth. But yeah, it's basically all this is for the entered apprentice is to understand that they're learning something to find their higher self. Do you know what I mean? That's what it originally was about. I don't know what the Freemasons are doing now, because I'm not a Freemason. But do you know what I mean? It was all about enlightenment.
So, that's why they're called Freemasons, because they were free.
Well, that's the checkerboard, that tracing board. So when you see like the Queen and people like that, like, you know, because they see what I mean, and they've got these people walking on it, they're taking the piss out of the people that are like enslaved, because you have to get out of this physical thing and wake up to even start to get up that ladder, to find your higher self, to be, you know, to be free, if that's what you want to call it.
And on the queue, Miss J said to jump on panel, mate.
So would you say like in order to find this knowledge and higher self, you'd have to join the Freemasons, or could you find it without joining the Freemasons?
You don't even need any of this. These are just like ancient. They've taken it from ancient things like the Egyptians. Like I said about the weighing of the soul. That's basic. You know, like you go back to Saint Peter. When you go to heaven, what does Saint Peter do? He opens the book, he looks in, see how good you are, and then pulls the thing. He says, "Oh no, you were shit. You were nasty." You know, so it's the same old story, right? It's about enlightenment. It's about.
There's a good
Do you know what?
question. Sorry.
I was just about to say, yeah, the link between Georgia Guidestone and Freemasonry. About 3 years ago, someone cut a little hole in the Georgia Guidestones, and they put a perfect block, and then next to the Georgia Guidestones, they put like a rough block. I could get that video up in a minute. Actually, I'll find it.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, I'll have a look.
Yeah, so that's a basic rundown of that tracing board. Just off the top of my head, I wasn't prepared. I didn't have any, notes to do it, but I was just going off from what I remember.
Mrs. J just finished mine.
And you remember the lockdown parties that they were having in like Downing Street? That was all on checkerboards, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they're dancing.
I remember we were talking about
in their mind, because they've been initiated into this waffle, that in their mind they think that like the checkerboard is the like the scum, like the slaves or whatever. Do you get me? The unintelligent. We're like animals. Do you get me? You haven't what we call consciousness is only what we've been told and learned through schools, and like teachers spend more time with their kids at school than what parents do. And they're teaching them all this waffle at school that really doesn't help in today's society. What the fuck is
that? Anonaku, it's fine, man. You don't need the camera. Shelly B has got another question. Do you wear a flower? Do they wear a flower? The blue forgot me not to show a secret sign of membership.
I don't know what that means, man. Do they wear a flower? The blue one. Forgot the show.
Forget me not to show a secret sign of membership. The forget me nots. You remember those?
Yeah,
you know those flowers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They
do a lot of charity, don't they? So, like the poppy, that's to do with the British Legion, and then there's other flowers that do work for charity, innit? So I suppose they probably wear forget-me-nots when it's a certain month. I don't know.
The guy in the back. Sorry, guys. The guy in the back. Have you got a camera? If you do, can you just give me a wave?
Stick this photo on local, really quick, of when they had that party at Downing Street. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Old that. Boris. Yeah, man. They were dancing on. They're taking the piss out of us, basically, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Just dancing on our freedom. That's freedom. What it
like
was.
You're on lockdown and everything. You're not allowed to do anything, but we're here partying and we're dancing on that checkerboard. The ones that you will work from. That's where you're working on, man. Their checkerboard. You're just a piece, man, on their checkerboard, on that physical, non-enlightenment, like fucking animal, fucking whatever you want to call it, bro. They love to have you in an animal state, like a herd, right? Like a sheep.
Yeah. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, in Rome, there's it's like its own separate country. It's called the Order of Malta. It's like the size of a building. It's fucking tiny. But you can go outside and like have a look and visit it. It's right next to the Vatican.
Interesting.
And that's part of Freemasonry. And the Order of the Red Cross. Well, that's, you know what the Red Cross is, don't you? The ambulance services, they pay for all that.
Oh, yeah. Originally, like the Rosicrucians, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's Ro. Oh, I can't mind his name. God. But they found. Did you know how they came across that book? Like with the Rose Cross, is because the Rosicrucians, they found it was in Jerusalem, like these vaults, like in the mountain, and they found this like passage or whatever, and they opened it up, and it all lit up, all the flames lit up, or they walked in and it was already alight, sorry, and they found this book on top of a body that was like lying in stone. Do you get me? And they got the book, and that's what that came from. And then they said, like, they all argued and said, oh, the lights had lit there for like centuries. Do you get me? They've been burning forever because it was like perpetual motion. It turned out it was just like, because they were it's all based on alchemy. Because they were alchemists, they made like these, and you can still do it. I can't find like the chemicals, and they were stored. And as soon as that oxygen came in, when they moved the stone, it lit up. The flames came on. Do you get me?
Wow. Yeah,
it's pretty. That's what I'm saying. That's how, like, people think they were primitive, but no, man. Because of alchemy, they knew a lot of shit, man. Through alchemy.
Who was it? That scientist, fucking Newton. Wasn't Newton an alchemist?
I think so. I can't mind.
Yeah, that's true as well. An honor queue. If you're a member of the Order of Malta, you get a passport. There's like 30,000 members of this country. I'll have a look actually of the photos I got, or I'll just Google it because it's. Boom.
Okay, the guy in the back, just give me a wave.
Give me a sign that you're real and you're not a porn bomber. Come on. But no like penises. Don't want to see that. Oh, is that the Order of Malta? It's just like a square and it's got a gate on the front so you can't get in.
All right. You're waving your hand. Yeah. Do you want to leave your camera on or do you want to switch it off?
33 minutes and 33 seconds.
Countdown.
Yeah. All right. I think it's better in that position. Yeah.
Oh, don't even. Hello? Yo.
All right. You're waving your hand.
Yeah. Wagwan.
Do you want to leave your camera on or do you want to switch it off?
I'll switch it off. You just told me to turn it on though.
3 minutes.
It's really hot. Sorry.
Mate, you just got an echo. Mute you for a second. Yeah.
Oh, hello. Sorry, my mic was off.
Hello? Yo. All right.
You're listening on another device, man. You've got a radio.
I'll switch it off. You just told me to turn it on though. It's really hot. Sorry.
Mate, you just got an echo. Mute you for a second. Yeah.
Oh, hello. Sorry, my mic was off.
Will you share this picture, local? Yeah, this is like in Rome.
Why is it playing it again?
You need to switch to YouTube off. How weird. I love stoners too, Miss J.
He's got two devices open, man.
Yeah.
Sort if you can sort out the volume, the echo, jump back in. Hello.
And you
Hello?
notice that they have these
How's it sounding now?
these symbols are on like all the euros and
I think,
Yeah,
does
yeah.
it sound better now?
Yeah, it sounds better
Yeah.
now, dude.
I need to different
Yeah.
ways.
the Order of Malta that basically set up the EU.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo, what one? That light's a bit bright, isn't it? Yo.
Yo, yo.
How's it sounding now?
It sounds cool, man, but it sounds like you've got TV on watching us as well.
You got a second. You got a second device. If you want to keep using that device, just turn it down.
Waffle houses. So
Yeah, that's pretty much what I've done. I've never done this before. So I've got a friend here.
working now. Yeah.
Is it right if my mate? Do you know much about Freemasons? No. Oh, never mind then. I just turned that on my phone.
When you walked out, it paused. It didn't reset. Oh, so it's not live? It's not live.
Oh,
yeah.
that was interesting.
Hello, Cape Mike.
Hey, what's up, brother?
How we doing, man?
Oh, hello.
Pretty good, man. Half the world lives off of $2 a day, and my coffee was more than that, so pretty good. How about you guys?
You
the
buy
same,
school
man.
coffee. Oh. Yeah. So tonight we're talking about Freemasonry. Any knowledge on Freemasonry?
Stick this picture up again, local. Sorry.
Gone. Oh yeah.
That's what we got so far. We've been through the history, and I suppose we've just been through the degrees. So anything you can add to that? Famous Masons.
Come on, Mr.
Winston
Waffle.
Churchill.
What's his name, man? I can't see it. Fake Mike, real news. Okay. Just so I know I'm talking. So where we at to? Where we at to, did you say?
I think we was on number 2.
Number 2. Okay.
Oh,
Well, what is the highest Freemasons degree is a 33rd degree, right?
Yeah. Let's get that picture.
What's so special about the 33rd position? What's so special about that?
It's let me tell you.
Yeah, here's that picture again of the rising stairs. So like I was saying, on the right side, you have to be like born into it, royalty, and then on the left side, anyone can work their way up.
Okay, no, but I've seen a picture, you know, and there's a man standing at the top. What does that mean? You know, what is he?
I'm trying to find it. I can't mind exactly off my head, but it's Hiram Abiff. Hiram Abiff is the central character of an Algary presents all candidates during the 3rd degree in Freemasonry. Hiram is presented as the chief archetype of King Solomon's temple. He is murdered inside this temple by 3 ruffians after they failed to obtain from him the Master Mason's secret. So it's all about having the highest secret.
That's right. They actually do that reenactment of Hiram Abiff, and there are people in the ritual. This has actually been shown on TV by Masons, and the whole idea is they're trying to get the secret off of you. And since you're a good Mason, you will never tell any of the secrets, and so that's kind of been put into ritual. But it's a very real thing that they don't want you to tell their secrets.
What do you mean by secrets?
Well,
knowledge, wisdom.
I wish I could tell you I'm not a Freemason. I have interviewed and even debated a few Freemasons. I have some friends that are Freemasons. They're not 33rd degree or anything like that. And the ones that I meet, the regular ones, they seem to be really awesome guys. Actually, 2 of them that I can think of off the head are really, really awesome guys. They're not 33rd degree or anything like that. But that's the question, right? What is this information that they have?
I told you what it was.
I'm just going to let the other guy on. He said he turned his other device off. So I'm just going to let him on.
Oh yeah, I don't need my camera.
I think like the intelligence service, as in like MI5, CIA, a lot of them are in the Knights of Malta, like Knights Templar.
Yeah, I was trying to say earlier, I live by 4 lodges. I live in Gillingham by 2 lodges there, and my partner lives in Canterbury by 1 lodge and a museum of Freemasonry. I have to walk past it all the fucking time. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this, but yeah.
Yeah, they're in every town, I'd say.
How does that make you feel when you walk past that lodge?
Oh, God. Well, I'm borderline Tourette's, so every time I walk past it, I have to say something. I just can't help myself.
What do you say?
Most of the time, I just say, "Oh, it's the Freemasons." But sometimes, if I'm feeling a little bit more, then I'll say some of the other, sort of stuff that they're, attributed with, being a part of and whatnot. But I mean, obviously, it's 2022. You can't really say half the stuff you want to say,
Did you say Satan?
I mean? Pardon?
Did you say
Satan? No, it's my accent. I'm British. I didn't say Satan.
Oh, right, okay. I'm British
no, I
too,
just
man.
say the sun.
My accent changed or what? What the fuck?
Oh, sorry. It's just me assuming. I assume that most stuff on the internet is America.
No, I do live in America, but
oh, sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, I was just interested in what you were saying there, man. Yeah, there's loads of lodges around everywhere, man.
Where I live in Kent, there's quite a heavy a lot of masonry in Kent, where I live in England.
Right, okay. Yeah, interesting, man.
Yeah.
Like your friend, the other guy was saying that, Freemasons are lovely people. Like, it's more now what it's about is the brotherhood.
I the other day said it's like the police. I said the police in the purest form aren't a bad thing, but they have a huge potential for abuse and corruption.
I would disagree with you there. I think police are fundamentally a bad thing. But
no, I'm not saying the police are fundamentally a bad thing. I'm just saying that just with any power, any group, there could be hands in back pockets.
This is not the subject we're talking about, man. We're talking about Freemasonry. So,
as in, you said there's good Freemasons, and I'm saying to all the people that say about the bad, I say, well, there's bad police officers. Doesn't mean necessarily that they're all bad,
Oh, police officers. Well, I've seen the good ones. Well, you think they're good, but you should see them at a protest, how heavy they get.
Oh, I mean, we all say the police are good, but I mean, not that long ago, they were arresting people for things that today we wouldn't necessarily think is necessary, you know, to arrest somebody for, you know.
No, I was in the lockdown protests,
They're
you know,
just
so
following
I've
the
seen
law,
the
though, aren't they?
I
They're
don't know.
not
I
like.
don't know. It's like, sometimes people say that the law is definition of right and wrong, but I don't. I don't think it is. I think
We're
it's a way
talking
of
about
controlling people. It's a
Freemasonry,
necessary.
what am I
Yeah,
here
yeah,
for?
yeah. Freemason.
Yeah, because I'm you know, I'm not here to talk about that. I only jumped on because there was a subject. I thought it was interesting. You know, now we're getting waffled off down to some line about police and corruption and control. Fucking hell. No disrespect, man. Peace, love, and light. I'm just saying. So where was you at, Age?
What's that?
argument
at?
says argument in the chat. He says, I'm on the Isle of Wight, and it's known everywhere here that Mason run everything here. Big lodges in the top of big businesses.
Yeah, I would agree, man. Absolutely. Yeah. That's why I said it's like become more brotherhood, where you join it, and then like the people in there like are lawyers, judges. Do you get me? And once you become a Freemason, you're part of that. After a couple of years, you get to know everybody, and you know it's good for certain things. Like if you don't have a house to live in, you couldn't pay the rent, or something happened. You know, people are in there that got properties. Oh, don't worry about it. I got a house here. You know, so there's some benefits to being part of it. I agree, but it's everyone's choice what they want to do, right? But I do. Go on, man.
Well, I was reading into the Freemasonry, and there's good and bad. As you know, we're living in the misinformation age, so there's always three sides to every argument, right? I don't really know what the consensus is, but I don't know what my opinion is, you know.
I think it's more like, I know you just said the consensus age of like disinformation. I totally agree. I think it's more like there is books out there that you can go into research, like Hebrew, Kabbalah, you know, the Tree of Life. It all connects into exactly, because the Freemasons, you know, that's nothing new. It's like there were elder ones to that. Do you get me? That begotten, I mean, alchemists, you know, and all the way back, you know. It's everything was just searching for the base root, which is salt, which is the spirit, right? So they were trying to find the higher self, the spirit. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what it is. But
from a I can't say. From a philosophical perspective, I kind of like Freemasonry from a philosophical perspective, because it is about, you know, sort of building, being the architect of your own, you know, life, you know. But I just mean, I don't know, like communism in principle is a good idea, but then they said it didn't work out. I don't know. I'm in two minds about it, really. So I've heard
I don't know.
I'm
not, but we're not. Yeah, I know. But to me, I'm not. In my mind, I'm not talking about people. Like, if you feel that you're controlled by some system that you're living in, then you know that's you. You know, I'm not part of this waffle. I know who I am. I know where I am. I know what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? No one controls me. No one tells me. But I see a lot of this control, and this is what's coming out tonight. Is what you're seeing.
Well, yeah. I only recently found out that it's like a religion. I didn't even know it was an actual religion.
It's ancient.
I'd say it's more like a ladder.
It is. It's just.
I suppose if you join Freemasonry, you go up the ladder, and most people
I
in
was talking
Freemasonry are
about
rich,
Solomon's
so
temple earlier, about, you know, the altars, what they would burn on the altars and such forth.
Yeah.
Oh, they've proven that that they burned cannabis resin on the altars at the Temple of Solomon.
Of course.
But most people don't even know that.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah.
And I do believe the majority of our mosh masses still are yet to, you know.
What was that? What was
learn
that?
about
What was
it.
that? What was that grave? I can't mind, man. It was dug up. It was I can't mind whose grave it was, but like it was dug up and like, and it was found to have cannabis. You know what I mean? In the grave.
Shakespeare.
Was it?
Yeah, Shakespeare's grave had, and some of the mummies in Egypt,
yeah,
but
that was
Shakespeare's
it.
grave had loads of pipes in it with resin and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a state or something, I can't remember.
That was interesting, man. I remember reading that.
I mean, I know a Mason, but I don't know, because I've probably filled my head with a lot of misinformation. I'm not really too sure about it, you know, do you know what I mean? Like, but he seems like a nice guy. I haven't really got any reason to not like him.
Of course, man. They're just, you know, it's like me. Like I'm not a Mason, but I've read a lot of waffle, you know, over my time. Madame Blavatsky, Eliphas Levi, you know, Francis Bacon, Adolf Huxley, fucking Aleister Crowley, Dion Fortune. The list goes on, right? And I had a huge library when I lived in Scotland. And most of this waffle, when I look around and I see, like, I've never even looked into Freemasonry, but when I see the symbology, like the tracing board, it's the same thing. Do you know what I mean? So the link comes in together, and most of it was cryptic knowledge because they didn't want certain people knowing. And it was the same when, like, the Knights Templar took like the Ark of the Covenant, you know, and they hid it, and you know, and all that waffle. It's just all about secrecy, learning through cryptology.
Well, I suppose it's it, isn't it? Like the secrecy is the problem. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but no. You know, secrecy breeds, you know, ignorance and fear and stuff.
Mysticism.
And also, like what Rick, the vintage electronics repair guy, has put. The Masonic movement was originally a union for maintaining high standards of workmanship for the construction industry.
About escaping slavery.
That's what I reckon.
They were slaves, so that's what the free bit in Freemason means, about no longer being a slave.
And then they built the brotherhood up, like by buying properties and, you know, helping each other and growing, I suppose, from that.
My own grandfather, he started off as a brickmaker, a mason basically, not a Freemason, but he ended up as an architect. He even done something in London, like done architecture up in London. I forget where, but yeah, he walked up the ladder, so to say. So yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of respect for my grandfather, a lot of respect, but I don't know, it's just. Where do you think all this comes from, like this anti-Mason stuff then?
Anti?
Yeah, because when you look on the internet, it's mostly Christians and stuff, but like they're sort of saying a lot of anti-Mason stuff.
Well, at least here in the United States, a lot of people don't know that the first third party in the United States...
of course, they're Masons. The founding fathers were Masons.
Well, what I was going to say is some of the anti-Masonic wave that initially occurred here, at least in the United States. It does go back further than that in Europe, in 1826, when an individual named William Morgan, who was a Mason and went to expose the secrets of the Masons, was killed. And there's still a obelisk where he was killed to this day. And that actually spawned the first third party in American politics, which was the anti-Masonic party. And I do agree with what you're saying. Christianity has a lot to do with it as well, too. There was a point where the Catholic Church actually condemned Freemasonry, but then you've seen things like the P2 Lodge and other things like that to show that they may be a little more tight-knit than they lead on.
Well, when you look into Freemasonry, you notice a lot of connections between like Judeo and stuff like that, you know. I myself, I've recently found out that my great-grandfather, I haven't got an unbroken line, but on my mother's father's side, he was Jewish, 100%. Don't know what that would make me, but yeah, no. So I'm not like against it, but no, there's a strong connection between Judaism and Freemasonry.
I think a lot of like grifters in the 90s and 2000s made videos and books, like made a lot of money out of like people like David Icke. They'd make stories up and they'd blame it on Freemasons or Jews or I don't know.
Scapegoating, yeah.
Maybe that's where it came from.
But I mean, people have been
Possibly.
scapegoated all throughout, history. Nothing new there.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of that, but also I think it has to do with the spread of information, even some of that information that was going on in the late 90s with some of those people, and then just ordinary people when they started getting uploaded to the internet. There was already a natural curiosity about the Freemasons, and now here, 2005, you have a tool where you can learn all about Freemasonry, even before that, but a lot more. And I think people were genuinely curious because these Freemasons, regardless of whatever our outside perspectives of their benevolence or malevolence may be, they do wield an uncanny amount of power historically and still to this day.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, did we lose Token? We've got another guest at the back.
I think he got a phone call. That's what it sounded like. Wayne, hello.
We've got Wayne. We've got Wayne here. Hello, Wayne.
Wayne's World, party time. Excellent. Woo, woo, woo.
But yeah, Token was dropping the bombs earlier. That was good. He was going proper deep into it. Stuff about it, I don't know, because I haven't really researched that much. I've just brushed upon it, I suppose, over the years.
One of the things that I find interesting as well is, obviously it's slightly different out here in the States, and there are writings in the Library of Congress, George Washington's own writings, and he was obviously a Freemason. He was buried as a Freemason first, and then as the first president, he was more proud of his Freemasonry than he was being the first president. So that should tell you something about what he thought about Masonry. But I find it interesting. There was an actual historical organization called the Bavarian Illuminati. They existed from 1776 till some people say 1793 when they were outlawed. However, George Washington is writing to one of his friends, and again, this is in the Library of Congress. Anybody can find this online. And this is 1798, 5 years after the Bavarian Illuminati was thought to have been outlawed. And he was writing about their influence and their infiltration of Freemasonic lodges in the United States. So there's one school of thought, I'm not saying I necessarily prescribe to this or don't prescribe to the school of thought, that believe, at least here in the States, that Freemasons started out as a good thing because they were able to discuss the tyranny of the king, because at that time you really couldn't speak out against tyranny, and they had to do it under the cover of Freemasonry. The Boston Tea Party, they were all Freemasons, and so Freemasonry was an outlet where you could have this freedom of speech even if it was somewhat censored. And then there's people say that around 1798, when George Washington starts writing about the Bavarian Illuminati's infiltration of these Freemasonic lodges, it may have taken a turn for the worse there, but I'm not to say either way on that. I'm no expert.
Well, at the start of the show, I was saying about how the city of London got burnt down. All the Freemasons, they rebuilt the whole city basically, and the same in DC. In I think it was 1814, the British invaded DC and they burnt everything down, like the White House, the Congress, everything.
Right.
And the Freemasons built DC of what it is today. So they definitely infiltrated DC and rebuilt the whole city. As to what you were just saying there about how Washington was talking about how they'd infiltrated politics back then. So yeah, that kind of links up.
Before we go to the next topic of Freemasonry, hello, Wayne.
He's gone quiet.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Wayne, are you there?
And on the queue. That's weird. I noticed Savile's lodge popped up earlier. I don't know why. It was on Twitter. I was just looking through, and the lodge that he used to go to. Yeah. Dirty.
Wayne, you haven't got any sound.
He's gone. I think he's gone. No.
No sound still. Okay. So let's move on. Lodges and famous Freemasons.
I know
we
Winston
went to one-
Churchill was a famous Freemason.
Oh, what makes you think that?
Oh, he was.
Oh,
They
well, he
always
said it
quote
publicly.
his stuff, yeah.
Oh, really?
Do you know any more? Henry Ford, I know he was one.
Oh yeah, that Nutter, if you're still there, that video that was just played, me and HKSV, we met up in London, and did a little tour of London. About how many buildings did we pass? About 20.
Loads, yeah.
And before that, we went into the
Bank of England and past the
what
City of
building was
London
that?
and everything, yeah.
That video that was just played, I recorded all of that in the Grand Masonic Lodge in London. What was it? Queen Street?
Great Queen Street.
Great Queen Street, yeah.
Famous Freemasons. Yeah, share this screen. Let's have a look. I didn't know Leonardo DiCaprio was one, apparently. No. I don't know. Don't know any of these guys. Is Barack Obama one?
His mic's buggered.
Didn't think he'd be one. Anyone know any famous ones out there?
Well, there's a lot of politicians there, which says a lot. Who else is there? Well,
Cornerstone. Cornerstones were laid by Masons, yeah.
David Icke is a Mason, says Liam Bolbrick.
Probably is. I don't know. I can't see him being any higher than a third, though, really. I think like 98% of them don't get above third. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but...
Does anyone know of any handshakes that I can learn? And then I'll test it on the next protest that I go to, you know, maybe shake hands with the leading copper, you know, go up to him and shake his hand and wiggle it around the way they do. I heard that. Yeah. Record it at the same time, you know, the live stream is there. Grass him out. Drain the swamp, you know, of all of these psychopaths. Well, now they're psychopaths, right? before it was all about, well, ever since the industrial era, you know. Hello, Nata, are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Which
So
fire?
yeah, you said you're living next to a Freemason museum.
Yeah, my partner lives in Canterbury, and she lives just like literally like 10 minutes away from a museum of Freemasonry.
Oh yeah, you should maybe take a visit down there and get your camera out, start
Yeah.
recording. We
Well, I've
asked them.
noticed. Huh? Sorry.
Go on.
I was gonna say I've noticed the Freemasons walking about late at night around the place. I don't know. Maybe it was important. I don't know.
You should have got your camera out.
I don't know.
If you don't wanna publicize it, just send it to me, and you know, yeah, I'll make a nice video out of it.
I don't personally know of anyone in Canterbury. I know one guy in Gillingham, but they're a personal friend of mine, so I won't really disclose them. But yeah, other than that, I don't really know any Masons, and I don't even know if they are. They may have just been joshing me. You know.
Well,
No,
you
not
said you
you.
live in a village.
Pardon?
You said you live in a village.
Oh no, I don't live in a village. I said I live in Gillingham. Technically speaking, I live in a place called Gillingham, which, interestingly enough, is named after gutting fish. Yeah.
Oh, you said there's a lot of Masonic. Was it lodges there?
There's two in Gillingham. There's one which I think the men go to, and then I think there's another one which is like something for the ladies.
The ladies.
Yeah, because ladies can be Masons and stuff, but they're not kind of the same as normal Masons.
Next time I see a lodge, I'm gonna take my camera out and take some pictures.
Oh, they get a little bit funny if you try and have a nosy, because I noticed one had the door open once, so I was having a little peek. I wasn't like on the grounds, didn't like break an entry or anything. I was just looking, and they were a little bit, you know, funny. So I carried on walking, you know.
I always carry my selfie stick with me, you know, make myself look a little bit professional, you know.
Russell Brand is a Mason. I've been thinking this too, to be fair. Someone just said, anonymity. I've been thinking that because he does a lot of videos where he basically talks a lot, but I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know, he says a whole lot, but he doesn't really say much, if you know what I mean.
Oh, you listen to this idiot, Russell Brand?
Hey, no, my partner does.
I do sometimes.
Oh, would you like to speak to my partner? Say hello, you're on air.
Hello.
Hello.
I watch it sometimes, but only a few videos where I think, oh, I want to watch, I don't know. But I don't really watch all of these videos, no. But I'm the one that subscribed to you, so that's how he saw this come up on YouTube.
Legends.
Yeah.
Yes, age. Yeah, man. What? So, number 3 or number 4? What's number 4?
The different parts of Freemasonry.
Because he's got 33 tattooed on his arm. That's it. He's got 33 tattooed on his arm, and he had a video saying, "I'm not a Mason" or something. Or what's this 33 on my arm mean? And he said, "I'm a Mason. I'm not this. I'm not that." And I was thinking, why would you feel the need to do a video denouncing it? I mean, I do know, because it's not necessarily one of the rules of Freemasonry. You can tell people you're a Mason. Obviously, you're not really supposed to go shouting your head off about it, but it's not exactly like a major rule where you get killed if you tell someone you're a Mason. You know what I mean?
Argument. If there's any single rich women, let me know. Give them my number. Give them my email address.
The Knights of Malta, they're the ones that control like all the heads of state.
The Knights of Malta.
Yeah.
Are they real knights?
Nah, not anymore. It's just like tradition, I suppose. Like the Queen's the head of the British Empire, which is like part of the Knights of Malta. And then Nelson Mandela, he was the head of South Africa, wasn't
Oh, so although he was seen like a nice guy on TV, he's also got a secret behind him.
he? Who? Nelson Mandela. Oh, Nelson Mandela, I'd say he was a terrorist, man.
I was about to say, I was in a taxi with a South African student when I was a kid. And obviously at school we were talking about Mandela being a good guy in that. And I said, I know, in conversation about, good people such as yada yada. And I think I mentioned Mandela along a few other names. And he went, what, that Mandela guy? He's a terrorist.
He's a terrorist. I
In
tell
that
you.
accent, yeah. He used to say, Ben, get in the cab.
Get in the cab, man.
Yeah, I used to share a taxi with him, yeah.
That Nelson Mandela, he is a terrorist.
But no, quite a lot of South Africans, they would argue that no, he actually blew up a few places and stuff,
Yeah.
Oh, we got Token back.
It's all like British funded as well.
Oh, we lost Fake Mike. If you don't come back on, thank you for having you on, mate. But we're gonna run for another hour or so. So if you come back, fantastic. Yeah, eyes on the audit. What is that for someone in the chat?
If you're on the internet, type in hidden hand Masonic gesture.
Yeah, I need to learn these gestures.
Oh, yeah, I put them up earlier.
Yeah, just put your hand in your jacket. It's one of the Masonic gestures. It's called the hidden hand.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be infiltrator.
No, it's called hidden hand. It's not a handshake. You just stick your hand in your pocket, like what that guy's doing there. But you kind of hide it behind your blazer or whatever, your coat or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And that's called the hidden hand. A lot of people do it. If you type in hidden hand celebrities, all of them are doing it, right? Even the celebrities. See, that there's what's his face, and do you know what I mean? They're all doing it. Sorry, Harry. I meant to be British. Harry, yeah.
Harry? Who the fuck is Harry?
I think he's aware though that like people could like make him out to be some part of the world order or whatever. So he does troll like Elon Musk. He trolls as well. He does little things like this just to troll people.
I was gonna say, if you want to give someone a heart attack, just walk around with your hand in your pocket or whatever.
Yeah. He's probably part of it in some way, but
Oh, come on, of course they are.
But he's not like high up, really.
Yeah, obviously. I think the head is Charles, I think.
Wayne's complaining about spanners. I've changed the spanners around. Yeah. I've changed the spanners around. Some people have noticed. It's fine, don't worry.
That's interesting.
The apps on your phone, all the little logos for pretty much half of them are like Masonic symbols, I found out as well. Like the Gmail logo is the apron. The Facebook logo is the tuber cane. I forget what else, but yeah, just stuff like that. All these different symbols.
all like shout outs to Masonic. Yeah, Masonry.
I'm trying to think now what the other symbols are. I can't actually remember. Actually, I've got a phone here. What am I thinking? I may as well just use my phone.
The other symbols. Hmm?
The oracle, as some people call it, the oracle.
If you take a triangle, you take another triangle and you opposite them around, you get what you get is a pentagram. Yeah, 6 pointed star. And then you join the points of the 6 points together with lines. You get is it a hexagon?
Sacred geometry, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you draw like a Y between the center to the top points, then you get a cube.
I've just found one of the pictures that talks about it. So Facebook is the tuba cane, Gmail is the Masonic apron, the Chrome logo is 666. You know, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it is written. It's written into everything. You know.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, man. Like, look at Hermes fucking delivery service. You know? You can't. Oh, that's crazy, man.
No, even Toblerone.
Oh, what about Snickers or Bounty?
Bounty.
No,
Well,
that's not
the
promoting.
Jesuits. Look.
What was I gonna say?
What was you gonna say?
Completely forgot. Stoner's mind. You know. So number 4 on the list, on the agenda, is Concordant Bodies of Masonry. Token?
I think they were just
HKs?
talking about that, though. Like, talking
Yeah,
about,
we were
like, the
just
Knights
going through that.
Templar and the other people that were connected, the originals, were, like, you know, again, holding the secret knowledge. You know?
But secret knowledge to what? I don't understand. What's so secret?
Cannabis.
Cannabis.
Yes.
I've got it in front of me now.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
But it's
We all
been,
do.
like
think
taken
because
away
they-
from
they-
us for the last 100 years, isn't it?
I was
think it's
watching this
'cause
2-hour documentary about cannabis. Like, yeah, the whole history of our, you know, about cannabis.
I think the Christians didn't like. Yeah, go on, man.
You're gone. Sorry, Tox.
I'm saying I think the Christians had some part to play in it. They didn't like certain things, and like, and if you would be killed to even speak about it. So that's what the secret
Heresy, yeah. Yeah, because they canonized one version of the Bible and made it heresy to say another.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
but essentially it's still Christianity, which is why I say I'm an alternative Christian. I don't really like to associate myself with, you know, normal Christians.
Nutter, Missy J says, Nutter, no free energy.
What do they mean?
Not
Oh,
weed,
holding
but
it back.
free energy.
Oh, free energy. What Tesla was saying, 369.
Probably that, yeah.
Someone doing a slow clap.
No, it's just don't worry.
I don't know. My head is full up with shit. I've got autism and ADHD. I just spend all day just, you know, researching and stuff.
Oh, it's just me tapping the Zoom.
What do they mean by nutter no and then hyphen free energy? Is it a
Yeah.
brand of free energy?
No,
Boy,
she
not
meant
to know. Free energy.
she
I think
meant
she means,
um,
she means they've been hiding it from us.
Oh,
Holding it
right.
back.
Yeah. Well, like the Ark of the Covenant gives like free energy or helps you talk to God or something. What?
All this is about.
I heard apparently the Ark of Covenant's in wherever that place is, a massive cube, Mecca or something. You know, where all the Muslims walk around it.
oh right, yeah. A few colleagues have been there, and they I don't get it. When you go to places like holy places like that, apparently it's holy, yeah. It's the biggest mosque in the world, you know, Mecca. And when you go there, afterwards you're not supposed to sin or whatever anymore. And they come back to work and then they start doing what they're doing again, you know.
But
and I'm like,
again,
you just wasted a trip to Mecca, you know, and you come back and you're supposed to be a better person, you know.
yeah. So you go to Mecca and you see what's that cube called again? Oh God.
I don't actually know.
Black cube.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
God,
where
this is
Muhammad,
It's
where
begun.
Muhammad got the
Yeah,
message from God.
he didn't know it wasn't local, man. The cube, like it's what's it called? Anyway, the cube was created by Abraham.
Kaaba. The Kaaba.
Kaaba, exactly. Kaaba.
And a
So
Kaaba.
the cube was created by Abraham, and in the cube, if you go in there and you see it, there's 3 pillars, as we were talking about the 3 pillars of masonry. You know, and like the stone on the outside of the cube that they kiss was actually before their time. It got spat out of a volcano, and it was pearly white. It was pure white, and Abraham constructed the Kabbalah.
Oh, I know. Yeah, the stone that's in the Bible.
And he put it in there, and and many people like around, they pilgrim to that place on their menopause when they couldn't have children, and they would wipe their menopause, like their blood, onto the stone, because it was an idol. It was idol worshipping, and they would go round and the male would do it as well. And so over time, the stone turned black, and you know, and yeah, it's still idol worshipping, whatever you say, but I'm just saying. And the cube is very interesting because it's got the 3 pillars, still going back to what we're talking about, the Freemasonry. And in that moment, I'm going to take a bong hit. So carry on, guys.
A bong hit. I got something for next week's show. I wanted to see if everyone wanted to vote for next week's show.
I was just about to say, I got an idea for a topic. So I don't really know you that well. It's my partner. It's popped up on the telly. But I wanted to say about the racist origins of cannabis prohibition. That's a good topic for next one.
The racist what?
Yeah, Google racist origins of cannabis prohibition. There's quite a lot on it these days. It's coming out.
Oh, what? So like the people are getting racial profile for smoking cannabis?
No. The
subject.
racists illegal in the first place, like back in America when it first became illegal.
Oh right, yeah. They blamed it on other cultures, you know.
I don't really want to use exact words that they use because it's horrendous these days. But as in they use very, very vulgar language, you know.
It's the
I know.
No, but
that
what
was
I
the language back in the day.
So for next week's show, vote on 3 things. I've got the 3 subjects already lined up, sort of thing. So I wanted to see if everyone wanted to put a vote in the chat. The first one was about the World Economic Forum. You know about that? The second one was space and Mars, and the third one was like robotics and transhumanism.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I think robotics would be a good one.
Yeah. Sorry, that last one is quite good.
Yeah, put your vote in the chat, man.
Do a double subject on space because obviously he's going to get to a certain point, and with robotics. So it's a double subject: robotics, space, and robotics. You know, robotics, obviously artificial intelligence, and we get heard on here, man.
Yeah, I like robotics. I can't wait to have a robot.
I want to see your numbers.
3.
I'll put number 2.
So,
I
guys in the chat, put 1 for World Economic Forum for next week's topic, or 2 in the chat for space and Mars, or 3 for robotics and transhumanism.
Oh yeah, someone's hitting the ball.
Argument wants 1. Got another 1.
Two or 3. D-Wit can't decide. That's balanced it out. It's between 1 and 3, I think.
I preferred like the space, robotics, and like, you know, transhumanism, like you just said. I think that subject.
You could spend hours and hours on just one of those, innit?
Right? But like pull them together in a nice little conclude, you know?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
We're already pretty much transhuman. It depends on what you consider transhuman.
Yeah, it's a biological system, you know?
Well, you know, like co-autonomy, there's like 7 degrees of co-autonomy. I mean, we're already on like, I don't know, like 1 in terms of becoming androids. I think of prosthetics and our phones in our pockets and pacemakers and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't wait. I was gonna say, I can't wait for the technology, when they have the technology where I can rip my head off my body and stick it on a robot body. You know, that would be.
That's funny, man.
Would you have to like download a software for getting high?
You'd have to be uploaded, like, you know, certain things that you'd like.
Yeah, no, I will still have my brain. So if I smoke, I'll probably.
Yeah, but where would the smoke go? What, in robo lungs?
Well,
I don't know. How stoned are you?
You just feel the same sensation that you feel like when you smoke, right? It's just not physically.
Surely, if you're connected to a robot body, they could just send the impulses to your brain and make you think you're stoned.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I said about getting a program, like being able to jailbreak your robot body to have stoned enabled.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I don't like that fucking idea, man. I don't want to be stoned, but mind you, I probably am, apart from when I sleep.
No, I like the robot idea. Imagine having a robot in your house, cleaning, doing what you asked for it, you know? Does everything for you. Love it. Go and do my job.
Like, we could send Klaus Schwab to Mars. That would cover all the subjects. Robotics, space, and transhumanism.
Yeah.
Like
the AI, the robots that we create are going to do exactly like what, as far as we know, like God created man in his image, and man is going to, as being gods, are going to create man in his own image, which is going to be AI, and they are going to.
I agree with what Miami Rose just said on the bid screen.
What's that?
They are basically working towards the transhuman agenda, and trans is just the beginning. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, they
because if
use
they do digitize consciousness, what would gender be? Because if they uploaded you to computer, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, gender wouldn't mean as much.
soon, you know, soon everyone's
you're talking about like hermaphrodite.
No, I just mean as in you'd have like masculine and feminine personalities, but as in like with no penis or tits, what do you know what I mean? Like, what would be the point of calling yourself a man or a woman?
Well, you wouldn't on a higher being, on a higher self, would you? What are you?
No, I mean, as in they're trying to get people into the idea of like our bodies not being ourselves, so that we are more into the idea of uploading our consciousness.
They want to get rid of countries as well, don't they? It's all the things that people want to fight for, I suppose. Like,
well, yeah, borders are a
people-
good thing. I knew this guy, this vegan hippie guy, and he said borders are a good thing, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. You're meant to be a hippie. I thought hippies didn't like borders, but he was like, no, borders, because of borders, that's why culture exists.
yeah, it defines cultures, doesn't it? I think.
Well, yeah. If there's no borders, there'd be no cultures.
But
I mean,
then
there would, but I
think
mean, as
British
in,
culture's
it would be
a
hard to
fake
contain
culture.
it, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think British culture is a fake culture that was created by probably Freemasons or someone up in the higher ups. Whereas English and Scottish and Irish, they're real cultures like that have been around for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Anglos, Celts, and Picts, and it's mad.
The deep ancient waffles.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, if we do go to space, silly things like which point on the tiny speck you come from, would, you know what I mean? Like, it would melt away all of those differences if we did go to like Alpha Centauri or whatever.
Well, we can't do it now, obviously. That's why we were like creating quantum computers, and if you look into it, that's absolutely like D-Wave. Everybody can look into D-Wave quantum computers, and you'll see, man, like this is how you're gonna like get further. And like humans can only like, you know, like solve certain equations. It would take us thousands of years, hundreds of thousands, and these quantum computers will solve your equation. Bang, they go. That's how you create a shield using gravitational whatever waffle. Do you get me? Like around you, and that's what it's gonna do, man. So we're gonna learn from our own creation.
We are the universe experiencing itself.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. We're all individuals, but we'll only experience our own individualism for our own experience of what we see, what we get, and what we do.
So remember the other night or a few weeks ago, we was chatting about this picture. Is it all right to get this up again, local?
Yeah.
And there were so many things that we found, like we was talking about on the floor. You've got it's like the what they called fucking hell, designs,
Put it full
architecture
screen, local.
designs.
Sorry, Age. Yeah, there you go. And take away like Mrs. J comments. Sorry, man. Sorry, Mrs. J.
And why
Sorry.
there's a bit of wood there, and then there's a bit of metal there. I don't know. I can't remember what we was chatting about.
It looks like it's a lantern at the back. I can't mind, but like yes, everything on the checkerboard, like there's a measure like to the left.
Oh, that thing.
No, like to the left of the left. Yeah, that one. That's like it's a ball measure. So you take a bit of string, and you'd put like a weight on it, and that's how you would measure out like flatness. To get me, like a spirit level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I can't mind what that one on the right is, but it's similar. Do you get me? So this is all like learning. Do you get me, through life and you know how things work, and this is the lowest form, and like you were saying, like the lantern on the top of the finished stone, and the unfinished stone. The finished stone is more about just it. You've accomplished the level to go up. But what else did you see, Age? I can't mind what we were talking about.
There's a bell on its side on the broken rock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, SWB. What does that mean again? I forgot now. SWB. That's always everywhere.
I
don't know.
I think I know what it means. Just a guess. So down, so below, so above, sound. I'm getting it wrong. So above, down below. I think.
No, you're talking about Hermes Trismegistus. As above, so below. As below, so above.
Wait, no. Wait, the W. I'm trying to think. I don't think I know it.
I can't mind what them things were, Age. What them letters meant. But
It's probably in Latin or something.
Yeah, we need Cage on here. I think B was like bow or something like that. I can't mind now. Put up the Tree of Life, Age.
My favourite symbol.
Put up the Tree of Life.
Tree of Life, Flower Life, same thing. I mean, they're not the same thing, but
it is the same thing, actually.
Oh yeah. My partner sort of was like, "No, they're two different things." I'm like, well,
it's the same thing. If you overlay the Tree of Life on that facing board, it all works out and matches. Do you get me?
What, this Tree of Life?
Yeah, Kabbalah.
There's two. There's a pagan one, and then there's like a symmetrical, like rotational symmetrical one.
I'm talking about like the Hermetic Order with the Golden Dawn, which I was part of. It's it's the Kabbalah Tree of Life.
Yeah, I know that one. It's like a key or something. It's like there's a city in that shape, it's 12 tribes of Israel. It's got loads of connections, that one, and it fits perfectly within the circular one. Yeah.
Oh, this picture. Will you share this local?
And it's the tabernacle, I do believe, or something as well, and it's got connections to both of things.
There you go. So you got.
So read the Flower of Life on it.
You've got the one pillar on the left, right?
Is it a book, the Flower of Life, or?
You got the right pillar on the right, and then you've got the middle pillar down the middle. The bottom, as you can see, is Malkuth, which is the physical realm. Okay, so the checkerboard is the checkerboard. Okay. And the left is masculine, the right is feminine. It shows exactly in the top is Kepha, which is the higher self.
Oh yeah, the pineal gland, the Sahara.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. So like you need to study this to understand exactly what's going on. The Freemasons were like, they came from this waffle. Do you understand? Yeah. And
there's the Hindu chakras in there as well.
And if you're not high enough, man, you're not going to see it. I tell you that. Peace, love, and light. I love you guys, though.
Anatta, yeah, I've heard of that. And Vishuddha. Oh yeah, these are the what you call it.
Yeah. Well, like Darth is like the abyss, Darth, which is the center. And mine, the top is like basically the triangle. If you look at the triangle, it's like the top is Kepha, and then the male was created like for Adam and Eve, and the female, yeah. So it's a triangle, the triangular creation,
Visita Pisces and stuff like that. That's two circles. If you get one circle, overlay it with another circle on the diameter or on the edge of the circle, it creates like the vagina symbol.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the Visita Pisces. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but
I know what you mean, though. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But that's the building block. If you want to build this that you're talking about, this tree of life, you need to start with one circle, then a second, and then you double it. Just funnily enough, like how in reproduction, it starts off as a single egg cell, it turns into two, then it doubles.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But anybody that wants to study,
anybody that wants to study, that's a lot of sacred numerology and stuff as well. Yeah, also Minecraft, like that. Yeah,
exactly. Like anybody that wants to study the Kabbalistic tree that we're showing here should, like, the first point should look into Israel Regardie. Self-initiation into the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn would probably be the first step, but only for the ones that don't even know where they are just now, and they're trying to seek something that they've been seeking. You know, if you know where you are, then you are
Golden Dawn. I mean, gold is my favorite color. I didn't hear what you said, and I am a bit drunk.
Said the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn.
Oh, Golden Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, Dawn.
Dawn.
Okay. Hermetic. There's a word for me to Google later.
Hermetism. Hermetism. Like what I said about the emerald stone, the green emerald stone that Hermes Trismegistus wrote, and it was basically as above, so below, as below, so above, to accomplish the miracle of.
Oh, right.
So he was basically he was talking about, you know, the higher self and the lower self have to understand each other and come to the middle, and the balance to balance out the higher self and the lower self. So that's when you like Adolf Huxley spoke about it in The Doors of Perception, the book. And when the doors of perception are cleansed, all things will be seen as they truly are. You know?
We're back in a sec.
When you open the doors of your mind, and all doors, and why do people close doors? Because doors get closed through fear. They're scared to do certain things, or they're influenced. But if you open and get rid of that fear, and you open all them doors, you will see things more than what you see now. So you have to open all your doors in your mind and be free. So.
How do you join this order? I mean, is there like an email? I mean, I don't really use email. An email. Or is it more of like an expression?
Well, you have to ask local about this, man. Local's the master.
Oh, I do know the locals, so to speak. No, I do know a couple of people who seem to know a few things about all of this. So I'll ask him, what was the name again? The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn.
Yeah, that's Satanist.
Oh, is it?
Satanist. What's his name?
That's LaVey, right?
No,
Anthony LaVey.
No,
Antoine LaVey.
The Golden Dawn was to do with that Satanist.
Which one?
The really most famous Satanist.
He's talking about no, it wasn't to do with the Golden Dawn was way before Aleister Crowley joined it. Aleister Crowley joined the Freemasons.
This is my mate Wayne. I'll just pass it over.
He joined the Freemasons first. He went all the way to the highest top of everything, and he waffled them out because it was, you know, and then he went on and he joined the Golden Dawn, and then from there he had he was whatever, man, but that, you know.
He joined it. He joined them. Yeah, I got mixed up. Yeah. Interesting subject. That's another subject.
And he left the Golden Dawn, and he created his own one, which was like
what was that?
Oh God, like fucking Thelema.
Was that what it was? Yeah,
it was Thelema. It was like and it was like it's a deep thing for anybody. Like I've studied the books, man. I've read through all his diaries. I lived up in the north of Scotland in Inverness, and
where he did that. He did that. Sorry.
Yeah, man. Up a Boleskine house, he did the Abramelin.
That's it. That's what I was going to say. That,
yeah. And he did that ritual up there, and and halfway through, I read his diaries. Halfway through it, because he was summoning these demons, right? supposedly. And halfway through it, he had to go back down to London to the main temple of the Golden Dawn, and he came down and like, you know, whatever. But anyway, the point is, it's like I've already said this: these demons that he's summoning, he failed because he couldn't bring them to physical appearance. But the fact was, why he was wrong in doing what he was doing is because they're not physical beings.
Yeah. I thought it was because he stopped halfway through. He didn't actually complete the ceremony.
No, that's he did because he went down.
Oh, he
to
did
London,
complete it.
like, and then they reckon that like they were locked in the center of the house in like a pentagram that he created. Do you get me? You know? But that's waffle. If you really read deep into it, do you know what I mean, and understand exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
It's more. He didn't understand what he was doing.
Yeah, that's right. It's really hard. It's a really difficult. I think it can go on for a year or so.
Yep.
There's an actual film called Amber Melon. I think it's called. It's a film. I've actually seen it. It's come out about 4 years ago, 5 years or 6 years ago, something like that. There's actually a film about it. It's you know, a proper film. Some woman does it.
Chemical Wedding.
Is that what it's called? I don't know. She actually she rents out a room for a massive castle place for a year, and then does the ritual, and then one of them dies. I think one of them. Can't mind
though. But it's a very interesting subject, Crowley, because look at how much influence Crowley had. Look at the Beatles, Ozzy Osbourne, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He had some keys to
so
open
everyone
some
was
doors,
interested in, and because Crowley was finding this ancient, you know, what we're looking at just now on the screen, you know, everyone followed him, you know.
Yeah, he was really. I really like. I've watched loads of stuff about Aleister Crowley. Yeah, he lived right near me. He eventually retired right near me, Eastbourne. I'm in Kent, but I'm about 40 miles from him, 50 miles from him, where he died. Or where
I
he
live
lived.
near Lewis, so it's even nearer to me then, I'd say.
Oh, is it? Oh, you live in Kent as well?
No, I live Lewis, Sussex.
Oh, right. You live really close to him then.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he retired basically. But he was skint in the end, wasn't he? Had no money. He ended up spending all his money.
That's because, like, at the end of it, it's like, you know, Jack Parson, which was part of the NASA propulsion systems. The NASA.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Jack Parsons was part of his, like, little waffle.
Yeah.
And they were all part of it, like, and he taught them everything. And then they were supposed to send him money over. He didn't receive it. But what he got a note is that they're doing his Moonchild ritual.
All right.
Right.
Never heard of that one.
I'm not going to say anything more on here, just with you guys, but like look into that. The Moonchild, Aleister Crowley. Look into, like, you know.
Yeah. Is that his own ritual type thing then?
It's some waffle. That's why I never followed Crowley, because I seen where he was going. He was
really dark.
He found a bit of knowledge to enlighten himself, but he wanted more. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Broke him in the end, I think.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he went to fucking Egypt. He was in like
that's right.
He had his wedding night, didn't he?
Yeah, he went in, like, he was in the pyramid of Giza. In the pyramid of Giza with Leia, and like he was intoning like certain fucking, you know, like vibrations. Yeah, vibrations to what he believed to awaken certain things, but nothing was taught to him. It was Leia that was being spoken to, and she could hear it apparently. And he wrote it all down, and that's what's called the Book of the Law. And he tested her, though. He said he took her to like the Egyptian museum, and he walked around with her, and he said, "Show me and point to me who you were talking to." And that's when she points to the 666 Healy, right, in that museum, which is Anarku. I think his name was Anarku.
Oh, you mean that Egyptian god?
Anunnaki. Enki or something.
That's it. That's the one. Something like that, isn't it? Yeah,
that's the geneticist who apparently created the human race, right?
Yeah. Anarchy, yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, I may be stupid, but I'm knowledgeable at the same time.
That's another subject.
But I'm always looking to learn. I mean, I think the main point of stupidity is having a closed mind, isn't it? And I'm always looking to learn, even though it may show me I'm wrong. I mean, isn't that a delight to learn that you were wrong, because now you're not wrong, man?
Every day is a school day, man.
Oh, of course, of course.
We're all learning from each other. We're learning
I'm
from each
studying
other.
science at college because I love chemistry and stuff like that. Because I'm autistic now, I like knowing what's true and what's not.
You sweat of science, I can smell it.
Yeah.
What happened to theology?
Pardon?
What happened to theology?
Oh, my nan does that best. I'm just a stoner who, I don't know, is a bit agnostic, so.
Oh, we're going to say something else, but it's not, no, I'm not going to say it.
But, yeah, I learned a lot about religion and that at first when I was younger, because I was an anti-theist. I was very anti-theist. I burnt a couple Bibles, you know, as part of growing up, I suppose.
Yeah,
I was like an emo.
Make you feel
Yeah,
better.
I was like an emo or goth or something, you know.
Right.
But these days I actually read them. Not a lot, but every now and again flip through it if I want to go to bed. I mean, it's like a sedative. It knocks you out. It's better than alcohol and drugs. It just completely sends you to sleep.
What, the Bible?
Yeah, I've got both the Torah, the Jewish one, and the other one, which is the Old and New Testament. I'm still working on trying to get a Quran in English or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Why are you still trying to learn from the waffles that they're going to teach you? Because
they're all mistranslated. They are all mistranslated. So there's
exactly.
It's kind of a fruit. It's a fruit.
You need to learn the sacred waffle.
A sacred waffle. Well, I find a lot of it's drip fed through the internet at times. I sort of get a little here, a little there.
Because you need to be directed on the path to read correct information.
Yeah, but I mean, what is correct? Everyone these days is saying, "Oh, that's not correct. Read this." Oh no, that's not correct. Read this.
I'm talking about people that wrote about things a long time ago that haven't.
Well, we live in the information age, or I like to call it the misinformation age, where there's about 5 different viewpoints on any topic you could imagine.
Yeah, because everyone went to the library back in the day and they would read, right? Now we're on fucking Google trying to find a source that actually is misinformation.
Like most discoveries don't, there isn't many new discoveries anymore because they were done thousands of years ago, and this is like the teachings that they're sort of holding and hiding, isn't it? These
Alexandria, the Library of Alexandria was burnt down.
Yeah,
and that set us about 1,000 years back.
That's where a lot of the information was lost.
I'm not going to go into it, but I do find it weird that Antarctica signed a treaty that all countries don't travel to, apart from scientific exploration.
Are we getting into flat Earth or something?
No, we're not talking about. I'm
joking.
This is for nuclear reasons, not nuclear reasons.
See, I'm agnostic about the shape of the Earth. It could be flat, it could be a sphere, it could be hollow, it could be both or all three at the same time. Oh, fuck knows, who cares? Do you know what I mean? I've heard good arguments on both sides. I mean,
a flat Earth night, but
I'm not a flat Earther, no. But I mean, as in, when they say it's a projection, the numbers could be twisted and turned. Do you know what I mean? I haven't done the numbers, but if they're saying the numbers would work for this and that, and it's to do with perspective and angles and distances and relative ratios, and so I'm thinking maybe they both might think they're right, and maybe we won't ever fucking know. I mean, it really depends. I grew up a scientist, an atheist, wanted to go into space.
Hollow Earth.
The more I look into this, like the Kabbalah and everything, it makes me. I know some of it talks about flat Earth and shit.
I don't know about flat Earth, but
I'm not saying I believe in it. I'm just saying
Hollow Earth is more like Agartha. Have you ever heard the Atlanteans, Lemuria?
I know about Hollow Earth, yeah.
right? So like, pull up that picture of Gartha age, and we're not talking about fucking flat Earth.
No, I'm joking about the flat Earth. I'm just saying.
I was in the cave the other day, bro, in Kentucky. It's called Mammoth Cave. It's the biggest, longest cave system on the planet. It's 440 miles long and still being explored. Right?
Yeah.
And apparently, what I read in the books way back, like from, do you know what I mean? From books and books, that was part of one of the passages into Hollow Earth. They call me crazy, I don't know, but I'm still going to go there. I've signed up to like the Cave Research Foundation.
I've got the
So I'm
picture
going to go
up.
back next time to Kentucky, and I'm going to be like exploring further in that cave, man.
Do you know what exploring in the cave is called? It's called spelunking.
I know it's called spelunking, but
yeah, it's funny. It's a funny word, isn't it? Spelunking.
So yeah, like, so if you can zoom in, Age.
It's not a very good one.
Hold the control button and roll your mouse wheel on the picture. There you go.
A bit blurry.
So yeah, it's I mean, like the theory is that like if you look at like when you go through cave systems, like water runs through it, creates and divides like passages, and then it drains down and it's below, and it keeps going. So, you know. Interesting.
No, the flat Earth theory doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense.
We're definitely got to do one of those in a few weeks. We'll do a flat Earth night. Definitely.
Yeah.
But then there'll be loads of people coming on there.
I can imagine.
It'll be a busy night, man.
Showing videos that they've been on an airplane with like a spirit level on the tray. See, it didn't move throughout the flight. We didn't dip to edge for that, you know. So there is no edge. Fucking waffles.
Yeah, space is a good one. Not just Mars, space, you know, like newly found eco-planets, you know, that could be habitable, you know.
I saw that the other day.
Here's a good question for you. Where is Freemasonry's place in the modern world, like in space travel and?
Oh God, I'm imagining like Freemason spaceships and stuff.
Do you think it'll be dying out, or do you think it'll be passed on? Like,
you know those alien ships? You know those alien ships that are sort of shaped like the square rule? I can imagine that being a reality now.
What alien ships are you talking about? Who do you talk to?
If you look up pictures of like alien ships and stuff, like artists' illustrations of alien ships, you'll see a few triangular ones.
Why would I want to look at illustrated alien ships?
No, I'm not saying Google illustrate. I'm just saying if you're looking at UFO pictures, I did when I was a kid. You know, I used to believe in all of that. You know, a lot of them sometimes like painted in like boomerang triangle shapes. So I was just saying, I can actually imagine Freemasons in space would be in like a spaceship shape, just like a square rule.
With a G on it.
Yeah, obviously, standard.
Hell yeah. These fucking
Nata, I put the Discord and the Telegram link in the chat. If you got any of them,
which chat?
You should join Discord, Nutter, man.
Oh, I'm too old for all that. I'm too old for that.
You ain't old for nothing, waffle.
I don't even know what Discord is. I've heard of it a million times.
He sounds like he's fucking 30 years old.
Is it like Skype? So like Skype. I'm 26. But what is it? Skype or something?
You're younger than all of us.
It's better than Skype.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a technophobe, but I don't really know how to even use eBay and stuff.
You'll know, you're tech whiz, so you'll know how to.
Oh no, all my expertise are Windows 7 and XP.
Well, you were looking for the initiation.
It's like
Initiation, so.
Discord is like a guild, you know.
Is it like
it's-
Reddit? Because that's one of the main reasons I haven't joined Discord, because I've heard a lot of things like about Reddit and Snapchat.
It's like when it's like
God,
a
what's
gas
the other one,
station.
Twitter?
It's when you come to fill up, but like you have to like forgive your sins, and local forgives sins on Discord.
I forgave my own sins. I thought when you smoke weed, you become a Christ or something.
Bro, church is like a gas station, right? You only go to church to become a better sinner.
I stay away from churches. I get itchy in those places.
Yeah, well, just saying.
Anyway, I myself, personally speaking, I don't think you'll find God in no Bible. Not saying there's a God, but if there was a God, he would be able to talk to you. He wouldn't need a bloody Bible or something.
That's true.
Right. Thy body is thy temple.
Well, communion with God, that's what the Rastafaris preach. You know, smoking weed gets you closer to Jah. It helps you commune with him.
Jah Rastafari.
Yeah, man.
I mean, when I started smoking weed, I felt a lot of the things that I had inside, you know, melt away. I just was able to think things a bit more clearly without the ego getting in the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
I love to speak
body
to
experience almost. Like I could actually think about things without having myself in the way.
Yeah, man. I love to speak to you, bro. I'm happy that you've woken up. I can feel you. You really have come out of the, you know, where you've been for so long, and you're awoken, man. Peace, love, and light.
Oh, what about the word woke? It used to be a cool thing, but these days it's I don't know if I want to use the word woke anymore, though. You know, because the negative agenda it's got these days.
Well, the old meaning. Yeah.
Obviously the old woke is still the best woke, but I mean these days they've just turned it into like I don't know, there's something else, you know.
Don't worry about that.
Stay woke, yeah.
Just be you, man. Don't be anybody else. Don't listen to the waffle. Just be you.
Waffle away, yeah.
Shut up, you fucking donkey.
Yeah, Nata, we speak a lot of waffle in the Discord. Join me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. You should join it, Nutter, man. It would be interesting to talk to you.
Yeah, it'll be good for your soul, man.
And we play poker as well.
Sophie, do you want to join Discord? Sorry, she's younger than me. She could do it all. She's 22.
Like YouTube.
She's born with an iPhone 6 in her hand. Or something, I don't know.
I remember when I first got my first flat, my Samsung. I was amazed. I was looking at the phone every day. I was in shock. Like, phone this flat.
I remember the Nokias, man, with Snake.
You download it, Sophie. I don't want to. I don't know how to do this Discord. I downloaded Tumblr once, and I didn't have any idea how I was supposed to use it. And this was years ago when I was like 17 or something. Back when I was at my prime in terms of technology.
Right, guys.
I didn't have a clue.
Peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light, man. I need to jump off, man. If you're still here, I'll come back. Peace, love, and light to everybody, man.
Yeah, man.
Lovely chat.
I'm going to go in about 5 minutes as well, but big ups, man. You taught me a lot tonight. Nice one.
One love, bro.
Yeah, thank you, folks. Catch you later, man. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up in a little bit. I usually make it last like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Yeah, yeah.
But don't worry, I don't use Tumblr. It was a girl I knew told me to download it. I just gave up.
Yeah, with the link, just click the link if you don't have the app. The link.
My partner's done it. What's the link? Click on the link, Sophie.
Yeah, the link will send you to the app if you don't have it on your phone. Install it onto your phone, and then go back, wait for it to install, and then go back to the YouTube chat and click the link again, and then it will take you to another screen that says accept invitation. Accept it, and you'll go straight into the server.
All right. Oh, what button am I pressing? So.
I'll do it.
Yeah, so I'm too drunk. She's gonna do it for me.
What phone are you using?
What phone is this?
Dual phone.
No, it's her phone. Mine's a Hawaii.
It's an Android, so it's fine.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Oh, what are you doing it now, Sophie?
If you want.
I don't know how Discord works.
You just download the
You've done it
app.
on your phone.
Yeah, but it needs to be on your phone. Can I get off? Can I go on high page?
Yeah, it's still playing if you press that button.
All right, Age, should we wrap it up for tonight?
Yeah, man. If you want to, yeah.
So next week, what are we talking about next week?
Was it space and transhumanism?
Space and transhumanism and Mars.
Yeah.
Elon Musk and Mars. Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Who's the other one?
Aleister Crowley.
Yeah. And
Did he
there's
go
one
to
more.
Yuri Gagarin.
The company.
NASA.
The company. NASA as well,
NASA.
yeah.
Bowen. Raytheon.
Owen. Yeah, for sure.
They've
Oh,
all
we've got
space.
another guest. Oh no, it's just NASA. And transhumanism. Is it transhumanism? Yeah.
Yeah. Had a bit of that in robotics.
My theory with this whole I identify as this and I identify as that, and you should be fine with it. You know, is one way of people getting used to not identifying, so that when people when finally robots come out, yeah, we won't be in shock because we won't even be looking at each other, talking to each other.
Yeah.
Do you want to ask?
Hmm?
Do you want to ask?
There'll be more robots than people on the street.
Maybe. Have like armies.
Where's the link again? Is it on the chatting?
In the chat, yeah. The YouTube chat.
Oh yeah.
Where you got the link for the StreamYard.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Nata and friends, thank you very much for joining, having your say, spreading your knowledge, teaching us a few things. Now, if you're on the Discord, I'll catch you maybe in the next 15-20 minutes. Yeah, so thank you. Age, fantastic, mate. Have you got anything to say?
No, man. That's about it, I think.
So the
Big up.
volume's gone. I pressed the
Loads
button.
of
I
love.
don't know what's happened.
See y'all later.
Try turning the mic on or something enough. Maybe that might fix it. Hello? So I don't know. It's just a communication problem.
All right, thanks, Nata, for joining, man.
Thanks. Sorry about that.
We're going to be on again.
I can't. Yeah, the volume's gone.
We're going to be on again next week.
Have you
same
added the
time.
thing on the Discord?
Yeah, don't worry. I'll kick you out when it's ready to go. Yeah, so thank you again for joining. We live again next week, same time. Hopefully a bit earlier. So thank you to everybody in the chat for joining and taking part. So yeah, see you all next week.
Right.